Hello everyone and welcome to this game of StarCraft that was found on reddit.com/r/castit. And we have spawning here in the upper left-hand position of Akilon Wastes as our red Terran player, it is Argomatic. And his opponent in the bottom left-hand as the blue Protoss player, it will be TheDannysaur. I am Thaco, and I am joined today by Snow. How are you doing over there, Snow?
Pretty good. Just looking forward to seeing a good game of StarCraft.
Aren't we all? This is going to be a Terran vs. Protoss here on Akilon Waste. So I guess we can expect a pretty turtly opening because both players will attempt to defend a lot and wait for that big late game to start.
Yeah, this map is great for getting three bases up quickly. It's just it's so easy to turtle at these two choke points at the opening to the natural and the third for both Terran and Protoss.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Also, there is then that very small, narrow choke point on the low ground that you can even defend and go down to that mid-left or mid-right, depending on the position on the map, and take a fourth, or take that as your third even.
Yeah, and a lot of games even come down to who can deny that fourth, even though it's pretty defensible.
It's true. We see actually a fairly early scout coming here out of the TheDannysaur. His probe is about to get up into Argomatic's base. It won't really see a whole lot because not a whole lot has happened yet.
Yeah, fairly standard opening, throwing down a barracks. He's I don't know what he's hoping for here, but hey, you never know.
It is interesting to note, though, that the Argomatic didn't wall off, so that scout will get everything. It's just chilling up there in the base.
Yeah, for quite a while, too, until this Marine pops out.
It's also seen that gas timing, which was very early, and it should most likely be a Reaper coming out here in just a second, especially how the Marine hasn't started yet.
You know, it's interesting that he sent a scout and now is sending a Reaper to follow it, because, you know, that first Reaper is usually, you know, most useful for scouting more than anything else.
You will see people get it just to make sure that there's no stalkers on the high ground right away. Send in the SCV to keep the Reaper alive so we can get a scout later in the game. But nothing has come out of that barracks yet, actually going for that reactor core before anything.
Maybe he's going for big Marine timing or something odd like that, but...
You see another SCV coming down to construct. It looks like a command center will be constructed on the high ground. Thinking better of it, maybe? Pulling that SCV around a whole lot in the main base? There it is. That's an interesting choice, considering he didn't wall off. The command center won't be more protected on either the high ground or the low ground.
Especially if this gets scouted and we have Warp Gate coming in. This could be a very interesting timing if TheDannysaur gets hold of this information.
It's true, but it looks like all of his probes are back on his side of the map. He won't see anything for quite a while, and that double Reaper is finally coming in.
Yes, there it is.
Being rallied across the map and will hit down into the TheDannysaur's base and gather that scout that we see a Twilight Council coming down very early. Either going for some type of blink timing or straight up to Dark Templar. Or High Templar.
Yeah, I don't know how successful a Dark Templar play would be, given that we've already got an orbital down in a second command center. Scan should probably be available.
Also, based on how quickly it will be scouted.
Exactly.
Those Reapers are coming across the map full force.
Yes, I agree completely. So, yeah, those Reapers are definitely going to prove their worth here, even if they don't get any damage done.
Mm-hmm. And that command center for Argomatic has finished up, but it's still on the high ground and will not give him an economic lead over the TheDannysaurs on the low ground.
If he starts double producing probes, it might be worth it for a little while here.
Ooh,
These are almost
so close to a surround on those Reapers by the probes, just barely missed. Those Reapers getting a kill or two as they move around. More what they're doing is getting that scouting information.
And honestly, just definitely being annoying, providing a distraction for the TheDannysaur. That's never a bad thing. Keep your opponent occupied.
That's very true. Just taxing his macro skills. And he is going to position those up here.
Exactly.
Just keep them alive so to get a scout out later. But up back at his base, he's amassing quite a large Marine force behind this.
Indeed, maybe scouting the natural already down for the Dannysaur. Try and hit a timing, but I don't know if the Dannysaur can get some probes down at this natural, he might start to pull ahead. Given that the command center has not flown off to the natural yet.
The command center's lifting up just
speaking
now.
of the devil, there he goes.
He's waiting for that orbital command to finish up. Sending actually going down and constructing a third while he flies that down to the natural. But just to prove me wrong, the Dannysaur actually just finished up his Templar archives and will be going for High Templar, with a huge number of gateways coming in.
The large gateway timing, a 6 gate if I count correctly?
I believe you are correct. Maybe actually though a 7 gate. Oh no, one of those is a forge. It is a 6 gate.
And this could be an interesting timing. However, hopefully one of these Reapers will get in for a scout on this, because that's a lot of production to throw down at the moment.
Yes, it is. And he actually denied that perfectly with the Stalker there, just portioning those off, not letting them in, and a huge amount of Marines are now pushing out across the map.
Oh, also with this push, a third is going down as well for the Terran.
That did start around the same time as that natural landed.
So this could be an interesting play.
If he can hold the Dannysaur back, he will get a very large economic lead here. And if he can damage this natural, he could severely cripple the Dannysaur for the remainder of the game. And as the Marine push comes in, we actually see the Reapers are starting to posture up the backside and will distract those Stalkers and Sentries, so these Marines can actually pick them off before the force fields go down.
And the Mothership Core is at the main, out of position right now. This could be a huge problem, as Photon Overcharge is really helpful right now in holding this push.
It would have been wonderful for keeping those very expensive Sentries alive, and we will see probes start to fall here. And even the Nexus might go down just as the Mothership comes in. The Nexus cannon starts, but the shields are already gone off the Nexus, and Stalkers are just trickling in here. This Nexus will fall.
All right, now he's got some Stalkers up, so hopefully he can kite, get some damage down on these Marines, force them out of here. But you know, he's got to keep that kiting up, otherwise this is going to go badly with that Marauder here.
Yes, he could. He should be able to push this back. A second Marauder does arrive. That shouldn't be enough to push through this with good control, but we don't know what will come of this.
Plus, Argomatic backing off here is a smart move. He's got 3 bases down to his opponent's 1 right now. And if he can get saturated, this is going to be a huge economic advantage.
Yes, it will. And we do actually now see that Nexus is going back down, wasting a huge amount of minerals there, but Storm actually is finishing up as we speak.
And now those choke points we were talking about earlier could become really critical here with Storm. If he catches a good chunk of Marines in there, this game could go on for quite a bit longer.
Yes, it could. Unfortunately, he only has 1 High Templar that does not have enough energy for Storm, and he barely has the income to produce more. So he needs to hold for quite a while here to become a real threat in this game.
Now, as a potential saving grace, a lot of those probes managed to get out of there. Argomatic didn't take down that many probes with that attack. Granted, the Nexus is gone, and that's a huge deal, but at least when he gets this back up, he'll have some more income.
It's true. He only did manage to kill off 8 workers in that fight.
Yeah, see, that's not quite as much as you'd expect from taking down the entire natural with a cut-in attack like that.
That is very true. He also threw down this missile turret at the ramp of his main, or natural, to try to prevent any Dark Templar from coming in.
Yeah, when behind Dark Shrine will not serve Dannysaur well here.
True. Also, he knows that the Templar Archive is already down. Those tech paths are open. Doesn't want to fall prey to it.
But now Argomatic is doing a great job of getting an economic lead off this, though. He's got his natural almost completely saturated, and his third on his way there as well.
He's just mass producing SCVs right now.
He's got to watch his gas a little bit here. He's got one of his guys is a little short-handed, but that's okay. He's definitely ahead.
Well, especially when you're going for that big Marine Marauder ball. Gas?
Yeah, you don't really need that much gas.
Not really your biggest concern at this point.
And right now, we see actually the income of Terran being doubling Dannysaur's income right now.
Oh.
At least in the mineral front.
Also sitting at 70 harvesters to 42.
It's going to be a rough fight for Dannysaur here.
But we do see that High Templar count is starting to rise. Has 4 with Storm potential. Those choke points are not going to be something you want to walk into, especially after stimming with no medevacs.
Yeah, for sure. Also, we see some upgrades coming out from Terran, which is very good. Weapons level 2. Well, however, Protoss has got armor level 2, so upgrade front seems fairly even at the moment.
The big difference there is that the Protoss does not have weapons level 1. So
True.
he will have a
True,
hard
that
time
is-
shedding those, tearing through that armor of the bio. We also see that that Ghost Academy went down almost instantly after he got that scan on those High Templar. So he does know what he needs to do here, but this attack might not be it with those storms that could just fall right there like those ones. Oh, those storms!
That was some beautiful storms right on the choke point of the Terran. Now he's going to clean this up, no problem. And that is exactly what DannySaur needed to get back into this game.
Oh, those storms were beautiful. Oh, it just warms your heart to see that, doesn't it?
Oh, yes, indeed. I feel bad for my Terran brethren, but it's going to be... It's good. Now, if he can push this to some economic damage at the third, this would be really an ideal situation for DannySaur.
This is incredibly risky. He is going very forward here, does not want to get that high up there, cannot get good aggressive storms here. That pylon is a little forward even that he's trying to throw down, and he knows it. He's pulling back.
Oh, more
But
storms,
hitting
though.
storms like that could turn the tide again. Especially if he can pick off that medevac. There are not a lot of medevacs on the field right now. Every medevac he can deny is huge.
For sure. Oh, did I hear a load of... Oh, these bunkers are going to definitely make him safe, though, Argomatic, because it's going to be all but impossible for DannySaur to punch up this ramp.
This is no longer a push that DannySaur can make, and I don't think he actually knows about the third base. If he did, he might be pushing into that, because that's completely undefended, except that his army could be trapped into that corner.
No, even just sending 3 zealots over there right now could do a significant amount of damage.
And we did see that the Zealot charge ability has finished, and we are getting Archons onto the field.
We also see ghosts coming out here, as you mentioned earlier, but now we're getting some on the field, which is going to be really instrumental in shutting down those High Templar.
As well as those Archons between both the Snipe and the EMP abilities. And actually just a whole lot of pylons going down in the front here. DannySaur wants to make sure that he is never thrown out of this position. He's turning this what looked like a lost game for him into a very competitive one.
His 50 down in the supply count, which is... It's interesting that he's being able to hold a contain here, but he really needs to get going on third base here, otherwise he's gonna mine out his main pretty soon.
Well, I think once he runs up here and sees this with that Zealot, he's gonna know that he actually couldn't hold a push. If Argomatic moves out, he's dead.
Very, very true. Unless we get more of those money storms from DannySaur.
That's true, that's true. But he knew exactly where the army was. Oh, DannySaur pulling himself back into a choke point, knowing that he needs to land those storms and that his opponent cannot get a surround on him.
As this fight begins, we also have a Robo going down. Which
EMP's hitting everything. There are not shields on the Zealots or 2 of the Archons. Those storms are going to have to be beautiful, which they are.
But DannySaur's immaculate storm micro is saving him time and time again here.
But too many Zealots fell for that to be an effective push. He could not go further.
But at least he held it off here, and he's still alive in this game. He's cleared the rocks, looking for a third mate. Yes, the third is going to be going down. He's also got a Robo down, so hopefully we'll see some Colossus production here, although I do not see a Robotics Bay.
There is not a bay down yet, nor is there one in production.
We see several gateways going down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that 6? 6 gateways going down. So instead of going the Robo route, maybe he's just going to go mass gateway here.
Is what we can hope for. There is actually the 4th now is going down for the Argomatic. Getting that saturated right away. He must have mined out his mate. He has 35 workers here at his 4th.
He may have kept producing workers a little bit too long, but hey, that's a good problem to have.
Took that, there's never a good time to stop building workers. He may have taken that a little too far.
He has 99 in the especially as Terran when you can build extra command centers and just get those mules down. But hey, like I said, good problem to have as his income is dwarfing that of DannySaur.
That is true. But that also means that when we look at the two army supply values, or total supplies, Argomatic only has 100 army supply, whereas DannySaur can have more than that.
However, it is almost exclusively in Marauders, which is going to tear apart this gateway force.
Yes, it is. Might be the time for Void Rays.
Indeed, yeah. Even like 2 Void Rays positioned above this army could do some pretty catastrophic damage. Although the ghosts are gonna be able to shoot up.
There's 10 Marines in that army right now.
Oh,
That's gonna
man.
shred these stalkers and
So-
have enough health to handle these storms.
Some Immortals wouldn't be amiss either.
It's true, but we did see that the robotics bay has gone down, so Colossi are not far off. We actually see the first
Ghost,
one in
do
production.
we see? Oh, we do have some detection over here. Oh, this is those feedbacks are going to be brutal on the Argomatic. No more ghosts for EMP. This is looking a lot scarier for Argomatic than we initially thought.
He's gonna pull back. He can't fight that without the ghosts, and he knows it. That was a cool idea, but it did not work out for him.
DannySaur on point with his observers. One with the army, one up front of the army. He knew it was coming.
Yeah. There's not a whole lot of attack paths on Akilon Wastes, so you can pretty much know what you're dealing with.
Now, the amount of barracks out of the Argomatic is impressive. His production is going to be through the roof here and he's got a huge bank, so it might be the time for him to start looking for trades.
He is starting to move down the map. It is actually interesting to see him going for that high-sec auto-tracking upgrade to increase the range on his missile turrets.
It looks like he's going for a contain here in the middle. I'm not really sure the purpose of this, but we'll see how it works.
But huge storms landing, taking up most of that bio. No EMPs, even those trades up right now.
And those storms are just absolutely terrifying.
And now those zealots will just go to town on the marauders and just ignore all of that high health. That did not work for the Argomatic. The DannySaur held that beautifully.
I have to say, Argomatic's macro is impeccable, but the DannySaur is outplaying him in fights here.
Yes, he is. We see that thermal lance upgrade is about 3/4 of the way done. That will be effective for that second Colossi when that push comes out.
Now, if he can pop the third here, is that the fourth? That is the fourth.
That was the fourth base established. That was a planetary, though. That's what the high-sec auto-tracking was for.
However, if he can get in here with this is going to be very destructive to the income of the Argomatic.
And using those zealots to make sure that those SCVs can't get in for the repair, he should just be able to hold it, though. It's not going down. The health is increasing faster than falling. And he was pushed back.
It's a good retreat here, better than getting trapped in the natural, though.
Oh,
And
with those
storms. DannySaur with the storms again.
Pull him back to that choke point where the storm will do the most possible damage. That was a brilliant play by the DannySaur.
Story of this game, money storms.
And then force fields to trap them in. The first Colossi does fall, unfortunately. Marauders focus firing that down.
However, I think that was worth it in this case. Keeping those that army down from the macro of the Argomatic is going to be tough.
DannySaur needs to know that this is not a fight he can take. He's trying to get out of there, but that Colossi should fall.
Oh, it's going to be close. One more stim should do it, though.
Not enough chasing at this point. It should get out, especially across that high ground. But it's important to see that behind this, there's actually 2 more bases established. And the first one getting forced to lift off by that zealot push.
Oh, and a lot of SCV deaths, although I'm not sure how much that's actually going to hurt him, given that he's still at like 85.
24 have died, and there are still just so many on the field. 83, 82. How many?
Yeah, he might even be intentionally sacrificing him here just to get his army supply up.
He does need to start clearing out some of that. We also see that there are actually not that many orbitals.
Yeah, he could probably use some of this. Well, he should have been using his mineral bank previously to build some more. He probably overbuilt barracks. He has got an absolutely absurd amount of barracks. Granted, that is going to allow him to replenish like no Terran ever seen before. But he definitely would be benefited by a few more orbitals for those mules.
He would. He's also completely mined out in his natural and his main. So his income's starting to hurt a little bit, even though he has that huge amount of workers. It's Colossi and Storms, if they can do it. Oh, those are beautiful hits. But those zealots aren't able to get into the range yet. There's no health on any of that bio. That's just
Argomatic needs to get his medevac count up here if he wants to have any hope of holding these fights. He's having trouble dodging these storms, but if he can get enough medevacs up, he might be able to bait some storms out, heal up, and then go back in once he's out of energy. DannySaur still doesn't have the income to just keep producing these guys.
It looks like this base in the lower left will fall for Argomatic. DannySaur just running everything in, storming SCVs. Might actually wind up helping with that army supply issue for the Argomatic. So it's a weird place.
That sim was very, very...
Oh, there's so many High Templar caught out of position there!
This is exactly the kind of trade the DannySaur needs.
This is not quite
the
right.
DannySaur,
This is
Argomatic
great for the Argomatic. Those medevacs have no energy, though. If DannySaur comes in there, he will catch all of that huge feedbacks, taking out one of the only medevacs that had energy at that point.
Still a lot of high-value units dead there for the Argomatic.
That
or
was
not, the DannySaur.
For the DannySaur. I think 2 Colossi fell in that fight. Also, at this point, killing off workers allows the Argomatic to replenish with Marines, Marauders, medevacs. It almost might be more punishing to the Argomatic to leave his workers alive.
And with 22 barracks, he's going to be back up to supply count in no time at all.
Well, actually, at this point, he's having a hard time getting enough money to produce.
True.
Getting 2 more orbital commands on the way. We'll be able to get those feedback, or EMPs taking a lot of energy from those High Templar, but the storms still hit beautifully, forcing everything
the
back.
reinforcements, though, might be enough here.
That's true. Those Marauders on the left have held this pretty well, and now there's Vikings on the field too. The Colossi will fall, but not before taking out a lot of that bio.
Those High Templars really being very brave up there up front.
Paid off for them, and the reinforcing Zealots will hold on to this fight. Once again, pushing the Argomatic back.
The DannySaur with a supply lead for the first time in a long time.
And we see the Argomatic deciding to take 2 more bases behind that attack. Just really wants to have that economic lead, but not saturating his newly found bases quite well enough.
Yeah, once again, this would be a place where those orbitals we were talking about earlier would help with those mules, but, you know... still, we see a lot of mule production out at the planetary on the right, and we've got another orbital all the way over to the right next to the DannySaur space, actually. He's doing a good job of keeping his expansions out, but...
He is. He's losing them quite frequently, though.
He is, but I don't think DannySaur even has any idea that these are out here on the right.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. I don't think he's actually ever even looked up to the right.
Which, you know, that might be enough to hidden bases. Might be enough to keep Argomatic in this. He's equalized the supply quite well, but we're getting to the point here where the Protoss tech is getting pretty up there.
And we see the DannySaur taking a base in the lower left now, too. That will put him up to 6 bases, I want to say. Yeah, 6. And he's starting to put a dent into some of these barracks. Marauders, though, will try to sweep up and deal with that.
I mean, being able to plink away at this production here...
Is he going to try to flank it or try to go for the base damage at the same time with this Marauder Marine push?
We see a push out over here. This is... Oh, these 2 Archons are not going to get caught, I guess, but...
And the DannySaur is going to pull back and try to defend his bases. He doesn't want to lose his production.
And with that many gateways, he should be able to delay with those Zealots.
Yeah. A big warp in here would be good. The Archons finally get in there. The Nexus will fall, but he has the money to replace it.
He's also got a 4th going down at the moment, so he should be able to just transfer over there and not lose much mining.
That's a 6th.
Is that a 6th? No, it isn't. That's a
5th.
No, there's a 5th.
It's a 5th.
There we go.
So we'll take the difference.
Exactly.
Huge storms hit most of this bio in the mid-left. Everything's very low on health. Archon's trying to get up there to abuse that fact, but they will not catch it in time. 1 or 2 Marauders will fall. 3 Marauders will fall.
Definitely a tense situation for...
Does not want to get too far out here.
Load the bunkers.
The Archon going for it. That Archon actually has 22 kills.
Hero Archon right there. But these bunkers are doing wonders right now, although will it be enough? I don't think so.
There are no SCVs repairing, so these Zealots will pull down that bunker. The Colossi in the back here are still doing lots of damage to the barracks. And there are Widow Mines now trying to grace the field with their presence. See if they can get burrowed and get any damage done. It looks like they fall before they burrow.
Now he's camping the production of Terran right now. Now this is definitely the worst position you can be in as a Terran, when you can't get your units clumped up and in a nice ball to do that DPS.
He's just going to feed these Archons even more kills. We have 14, 22, 26, 26. These Archons are just wrecking it. Argomatic not happy with that outcome and leaves the game.
Danisaur should take it as a compliment. Those storms, right on the money, even when he's down in supply.
That is true. He played a very good game, conserving his units to the best of his ability.
Oh.
That was a very well played out game by the Dannysaur.
Argomatic, though, impeccable macro. Definitely a good game for him. Just got to dodge those storms.
Just even a little micro in those fights would have just changed the outcome completely, potentially.
Yep. Can't say Danisaur wouldn't have just been on the money. Even, who knows? But the point is, good game by both
Predictive storming where he's going to split too.
That would be intense.
Well, that brings us to the end of that game. Thank you for joining us today, and I hope you will join us for more games of StarCraft in the future.
Have a good night, everyone.